Nattie Forsyth, aka Scrimzox, aka Natigska, aka Nathorix, aka whatever the name she decides to change to after this video drops, is a Roblox YouTuber based in the UK with a very shady past, to put it bluntly. She's been caught doing multiple awful things within the Roblox community, and given that it's full of a bunch of children that don't understand the severity of what she's done, she's gotten away with it so far. That is until now, as we'll go through this person and their entire internet history and see what's up with them. Shout out to the Patreon members, and if you'd like to support the channel, you can check out the link below. Now let's see what's in store together, cause let me tell you, it's astounding the kind of stuff they've done has gone so under the radar. Now before Nat was known under her current name, she was known as Nathorix and for a while got relatively popular in the Roblox community in a short time. The content was pretty expected, mainly just Roblox related stuff, but sometimes there'd be a different style vid, like this Juice WRLD one for example. They would say in that vid that they couldn't turn off ads despite this being an outright lie, and this is a prime example of the type of person we're dealing with. One day though, the channel stopped uploading, and in its place the Scrimzox channel was born. The proof they're the same person is that the PO boxes are basically the same, and Nat uploaded a video in which they directly let everyone know that they are Nathorix.
Why do I look and sound like Nathorix? Well, I'm going to share with you some information right now that may upset or shock you. I'm Nathorix.
Their past as Nathorix is full of a lot of weird stuff, like constantly posting NSFW Roblox images both on Discord and Twitter, and funnily enough when called out for it by fellow Roblox YouTuber KonekoKitten, they would say that their content isn't kid friendly, you know, despite being a Roblox YouTuber, and then would try to manipulate the narrative and say that him messaging them on Twitter is sending minors their way, trying to make Koneko the bad guy. Mind you, this person was 18 at the time this was all going down, meaning we have an adult posting NSFW Roblox images on Discord and on Twitter for their child audience to see. At one point in time, they would say a lot of what they do is playing a character and just satire, bro, trying to feign any responsibility for their actions. Nat was known on Discord for being a creep, such as spamming W's and then sending a thankfully blacked out unsolicited picture to someone. And they would make a thinly veiled threat about how they could get sued for slander and whatnot. You know, just a pretty normal interaction. I would try to figure out what this was, and while I couldn't find a specific reason to this example, I did find a tweet of someone referencing them sending a rather graphic image to a group of minors, and so I started digging some more. Lo and behold, I found a screen recording of when she sent a Discord server full of minors a video that involves a sewing machine and a certain male body part, with Nat deflecting any criticism and manipulating the conversation, saying that people under 13 shouldn't be allowed in Discord when people tell them what they did was messed up.
I'm gonna post a cool video to the chat. I'm gonna post a cool video in the chat, guys. You should watch it.
Okay.
It involves sewing. It involves sewing.
I shall roll.
Yeah, I don't want to watch that.
No. Yeah, we're just.
I don't know if that's
It's not my taste.
I don't know. I mean, I do know there's 13-year-olds in here and younger.
I mean, if it's younger, then you should ban them, and you're gonna get banned if you keep them in the server. So.
I mean, it's not my sub.
Like the owner, they need to ban anyone. There goes the owner.
I'll have you know I'm the owner of.
Yeah, I'm just.
Ooh.
Who deleted my cool video?
Now Nat has been in two separate controversies with two different girls, that being Chloe and Cindy. Chloe was 16 and Nat was 18 at the time, and that situation has to do with these posts made in a Discord server. As you can tell, they're pretty tasteless and crude, but given Nat only recently turned 18 as they were born on June 25th, 2000, in this case they're just really bad and tasteless jokes and nothing exactly nefarious going on here, despite all the other weird stuff they've been doing. Now Cindy was also 16 when Nat was 19, and their situation went down in 2019 between the two of them based off this screenshot when they talked about it on Twitter. In a now deleted response video back when all this went down, Nat was straight up admit to sending an image to Cindy, which is none too surprising given how much we learned about this person so far.
So I did do a bit of research, and sexting under the age of 18, like sending images, is illegal. Now she's almost 17, I don't know if that makes any difference whatsoever. I myself am 19, my birthday's in June, and in the Dropbox provided by Little Stray, you can see my dick.
Nat would go on to say that Cindy sent two images as well, explaining that he asked for one in particular.
So I sent that because she sent me two images of herself. One image of her wearing Nathorix merch whilst in underwear and fishnets, and I didn't specify for her to wear those, but I did ask for that picture.
The rest of the video paints Cindy as some annoying weirdo that just sends flirtatious messages out of nowhere, basically trying to set her up as the bad guy while also trying to downplay what they did because she was only 16, trying to convince the viewer they did nothing wrong. It's really hard to explain on its own, so let me just play out the clips for y'all.
She like went through the chat and like wiped all images because she was sending me a lot of stuff. Like it would be out of nowhere, she would just send like a picture of her ass, none of it being nude. And after getting all this from her, I sent my dick because I felt like I should send something. This is where I asked for that image that I mentioned earlier. Now the first thing that I say in that block right under where she says what uwu is completely okay because again she's 16. But again, like what she sent me wasn't nude. And then I was asking one of her ass in the uniform because I got one in the merch like I said.
The video ends off with Nat saying that Cindy got her own issues going on, like constantly begging for attention either through annoyance or self-harm images, and eventually the two of them arguing after Cindy told everyone about their dynamic. Now what's strange is that on December 21st, 2021, this controversy would be brought to light once more and Nat would again respond to it, but this time the story sounds different than in the deleted video we just went over, painting Cindy as if she was just sending pics and stuff to them for no reason, when as we've seen, Nat admitted to asking for the picture in question.
Sticking to her. But essentially she would like send me like moaning audio just randomly, like wanting me to send stuff back. She had a Nathorix shirt on and she was wearing fishnets with underwear and she sent me a picture and it was like really fucking dark. I could barely make out what was in the image. And then after about 5 seconds, she removed. So I sent that because she sent me 2 images of herself. One image of her wearing Nathorix merch whilst in underwear and fishnets, and I didn't specify for her to wear those, but I did ask for that picture.
Nat then says that the UK police got involved and destroyed their hard drive after going through the entire mess and concluding there was insufficient evidence to convict them of anything, and even said they were 1 year apart, which is another bold-faced lie, and say it all nonchalant like they literally didn't have something the police feared was cheese pizza on their hands.
However, I was told by officers that this was basically cached on my hard drive in the Discord cache, and that is why the hard drive was destroyed, because even though that wasn't enough for like any kind of conviction or anything like that, and I mean like we were literally like fucking 1 year apart, they still wanted to destroy the hard drive because, you know, like you can probably recover that using several tools. After like the 8 months of them investigating the situation, having, you know, had my laptop and phone, the new phone I had taken away, I got both of them back, but the hard drive of the laptop was destroyed.
Now it's worth pointing out that Cindy ended up saying to Nat they told everyone all this for attention and apologized, but still, at the same time, Nat was 19 asking for images from a 16-year-old, and given their past of creepy behavior like this, it doesn't help their case at all. And that's not mentioning again the police destroyed their hard drive and fear what was on it. To sum everything up so far, Nat is basically a degenerate person who has a history of sending images of themselves to people, both underage and as an adult, as well as the Discord sewing video and other stuff. To give a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, the age of consent in the UK is 16, and both girls were 16 years old, so while the flirting is technically not illegal, it was definitely creepy, especially when you see this as a pattern of behavior from Nat. The images were definitely illegal though, as anything under 18 is considered cheese pizza in the UK, and they were sending images to an underage person, so take that however you will. Overall, everything so far is on the slightly tamer side of things, just some awful judgment, awful explanations, and some lies to dig through. Basically, nothing exactly groundbreaking on this channel. That is, until a third situation happened with someone named Craze, and one that really ramps everything up a notch. In January 2019, when Nat was 18 years old, they were in a Discord group chat one can only describe as a hellhole. A person named Craze was added to the chat, and within a small amount of time, Nat got a hold of her Snapchat account and started sending messages to her in what they describe as jokes, but I'll let you be the judge of that. The first is this image right here begging for her attention, and the next is an obvious innuendo with the fingers and the tongue going on, and Nat would even send 2 audio clips to Craze as well.
Crazy, please just send me a picture. It'll take a second, please, thank you. Fuck me.
It's pretty easy to tell that Nat is interested in Craze, and it's not a joke like they've been trying to say, but here's where things get interesting. Nat hasn't asked the age of Craze during all this. That means Nat cared so little about themselves and the person they were talking to, they didn't even think to ask if they were underage or not before sending all that stuff her way. In the Discord group chat, people start to guess the age of Craze, and Nat would guess 14, meaning that they, at 18 years old, thought they were messaging a 14-year-old the whole time. It turns out Craze was allegedly 12 years old, but given I can't find any evidence of this, we'll just fall back on 14. Along with this were allegations of them sending a pic of themselves to her, and so when questioned about this by what sounds to be underage friends from that very group chat, this is what Nat had to say.
About, you know, I don't know, but I've been told that, you know, you've apparently, like, sent nudes. That's because, I don't know, but...
Sent like a dick from Google, because, I mean, I kind of hope he does make a video, because that's free content for me, but fuck.
Free content, really, bro?
Wait, I know, but like, why would you send a dick pic from Google to someone you probably
Minor.
knew that was a minor. Yeah.
What the fuck do you mean probably knew?
I mean, you guessed her age, I guess, but you said that apparently.
No,
other
I
people-
guessed 14. I guessed incorrectly.
That's still fucked up though.
Yeah, you pretty much you kind of like
How
in your
so?
mind you thought she was 14.
Because you're 18.
No, I said 14 because everyone else was guessing close to 14, so I said the only number that everyone else didn't say. Like, we were all guessing random numbers.
That's right, out of all the instances I've shown you guys so far, Nat says in this case it was a pic from Google, and then says they were basically joking when they guessed Craze was 14. I'm gonna call bullshit on this one because 1, they've been showing pics of themselves recklessly and we're supposed to believe this one time it was just an image from Google to a minor, and 2, saying it's a joke to guess someone's age is simply unbelievable. Given Nat is a known liar and manipulator as seen by the Juice WRLD and KonekoKitten conversations, I don't believe any of their excuses. That's not to mention again, they didn't even ask the age of Craze before doing all this, and given we've seen them do this degenerate stuff constantly, it's not even reckless anymore, it's downright predatory. Nat would drop another now deleted video titled I'm Sorry, in which they don't really say much at all and tries to make the viewer feel sorry for them saying they got doxxed when there's literally no proof of this at all.
But one thing I do know is that my address is not public, so is my name, so is my family's names, so is everything that's personal to me, and I'm still being sent pictures as I speak of me with my family on Discord, but from what I've been told, they went to a pretty, like, infamous exploiter, someone that makes exploits, and using his skills of what he knows, he was able to find every single part of my, like, personal, like, information.
The whole video is literally just a black screen, and again, given Nat's a known liar and manipulator, I don't believe any of their claims without solid evidence, in which they provide literally none. They also mention freedom of speech and try to downplay asking a minor for pics as a joke, and trust me, we'll get back to that point in a bit.
I also still kind of see the side of, it was just a fucking joke. Like, freedom of speech, like, you can joke about so much.
A Roblox YouTuber named Epic Rika would cover this situation on their channel in a now deleted video, and so Nat would respond to that in another now deleted video as well. Nat says they made the video to defend free speech, still trying to say it was all just a joke. Just take a listen to all this delusion going on.
The reason for making this video, or at least the main reason, is to defend free speech. If I simply let this go like everyone's telling me to, in future if someone else makes an edgy joke, it'll be taken very seriously and they will use my case as an example against them.
A lot of the video is Nat constantly trying to downplay what they did as just a joke, and then tell a story how they found out about Craze's age, funnily enough now saying they thought she was 16, and the excuses they say are honestly astounding to listen to.
It was all in a joking context, it was all satire, none of it was serious. The images again, it was just a more serious version of the messages, and I still had no idea of the age of the person at the time. The only time I found out the age actually was when I was in a group chat with a few people. Pink Cat was in the group, and I think it was Pink Cat that said, guys, so guess our age. And everyone was saying 12, 13, 15, 11. But the one number people didn't say was 14, so I said 14. And the reason for that was because, obviously the second he says, okay guys, guess our age, I was pretty much like, oh shit, maybe she isn't over 16 because 16 is the age of consent, by the way, in the UK. You can have sex at 16. And I assumed she was at least 16 or over that, so I was okay with being my fucked up self and making those jokes. And of course me saying 14 didn't help me apparently because they thought, oh yeah, you just assumed that she was 14 this whole time and you knew? Her actual age is 12. Apparently.
They then say exactly what they've been doing and try to deflect it, that being they say and do nasty things and then say it's all a joke to avoid accountability, and say they regret nothing.
But at the end of the day, they were jokes, and that's all there is to say really. And for the people saying, oh, you're just saying that because then you can say weird shit to minors and get away with it by saying it's a joke. Keep in mind, I didn't know the age until after all this shit happened, like I sent those pictures. One of them being me with my tongue, and the other being a dick from Google. If I had known the age, I obviously wouldn't have joked around like this. And I have absolutely no regrets in making these jokes. I am not sorry for making these jokes, and will continue to do so. The only thing I'm sorry for, and the only reason that I'm quite mad at myself and have regrets, is because I didn't check the age first, I had no idea, and because I trusted someone brand new to the group, and just acted like normal.
The fact she just placed the blame on a minor saying they shouldn't have trusted her is fucking insane. This person is an actual lying manipulative loser. The rest of the video is reacting to Epic Rika's one, but we don't need to go any further because we already know Nat is a degenerate scumbag. In that video where Nat talked about Cindy again, they also talk about Craze again, and it's nothing you haven't heard before, as Nat tries to downplay everything as just a joke and whatnot like we've been seeing. The only things that caught my interest was them saying they asked for images semi-ironically, which implies that Nat really did want images from what they believed was a 14-year-old, and that Craze told them they were 12 instead of 14 after everything went down.
Dumb fucking like idea everyone had that I was at like ask her for nudes and shit. I'd even asked in voice notes like, oh come on, it will only take 1 second. Like I was asking semi-ironically, but yeah, I wouldn't have complained if I had got the nudes because I assumed this person wasn't, you know, really fucking underage. Just her age could have been incorrect because like in this group chat, this very dumb edgy group chat, jokes of all kinds were being made and pedo jokes are being made. Yeah, literally about the fucking person that just happened to be underage, like genuinely underage.
It's also worth mentioning that the Craze situation happened before the Cindy one, meaning that even after this plus the past of sending nasty stuff to people, Nat still somehow ended up in a situation with Cindy and sending pics to her, showing that they barely learned any lesson on how to go about the internet, and only simmered down once they stopped using the Nathorix channel and moved on to Scrimzox. Nat has recently had to respond to her shady past being brought to light once more after YouTuber Achito brought them up after it was discovered YouTuber Jalen is friends with Nat. While the video is nothing new, Nat and Jalen would have an argument with each other over other matters, Jalen would have another cycle and start to berate Nat, and interestingly enough was planning to fly Nat out to meet them IRL despite their extremely awful past. They've since made up and most of the leaked DMs are deleted, but still, now that we've seen Jalen is involved, it seems things are heading in a familiar direction. It turns out Jalen has defended Nat before, as in the thumbnail on a video posted on December 24th, 2021 by YouTuber Grimzy, Jalen has already said they're innocent to them. She's not the focus of this video though, so we'll save that for part 3 of the Jaden cycle. Nattie Forsyth is a person with an extremely shady past one can only describe as utterly insane. From a constant pattern of sending NSFW stuff to minors, getting so bad the UK police got involved and destroyed their hard drive, it's no wonder this person has an issue when people bring this up. For example, when I teased the Jaden Cycle Part 3 on my Twitter, they would post and delete a message getting defensive about me mentioning their past. I personally wouldn't trust their word too much, as even recently as 4 months ago they would get in a weird leaked convo where it seems she straight up lied to somebody about the Snapchat messages and such, and derailed the conversation into semantics rather than the topic at hand. All the info surrounding their name is bungled up, messy, and all over the place, so hopefully this video makes things easier for you guys to understand. One thing's for sure, Nat definitely has a past of being an extremely disgusting person, and they're a freak whose word cannot be trusted.